There has been one question that I've been plagued with for almost a full year now, and that is the status of the seventh part of the Lyndon Johnson documentary. I have had people nicely ask when part 7 will be finished. I have had people, like Jem, like Butt Muncher 45, ask not so nicely when part 7 will be done. But they don't say it in like a calm, relaxed tone. They go, they get in front of their computer, almost as if they're ready to rip it in half, and they're like, "What's taking so long?" And I try, excuse me, to explain to them that the difference between Johnson and like any of the other, presidents I either have started on or want to do whatever, is that I was using Robert Caro's fourth volume, The Passage of Power, for the fifth and sixth parts. And this is an ongoing series where there have been 10 or even 10 years or even longer in between releases. And for that reason, as I approached the beginning of Johnson's presidency and wanted part 7 to take up all of, to just cover like the whole election year of 1964 and Civil Rights Act and whatnot, I did not have a proper book I could use for that other than the Robert Dallek second volume, which I don't like quite as much, because I don't think he's as descriptive. I think with his stuff, the events kind of like, they have these subheadings where it'll be about like one topic in particular, and the way I wanted it to be is that you kind of get a chronological order of events, like you get to kind of go through the year, because 64 was a very important year. But I found myself, by virtue of not having that fifth volume, which now Caro is even admitting might not even be finished in his lifetime, to use like as something that caused me to kind of back away and start to go and look into multiple other sources. Now, the other issue is that when I write these, I try to do two parts together. So while working on part 7, I was trying to do part 8 as well. And with part 8, I was hoping that just like how part 7 is supposed to be 64, part 8 would be 65, and then we cover Medicare and Medicaid and the Voting Rights Act, and then from then on you would have, this is the pattern: part 9 would be 66, part 10 would be 67, and then part 11, presumably the final part, would be, I call it the year from hell, his last year in office and that election cycle, and then the post-presidency, which isn't that long. Just all of it would be concluded in that last full video. But yeah, that's the reason that I don't have a singular book I can use anymore. I've been relying on a lot of different sources, sometimes print articles, sometimes other books I've been able to pull up. And I, whenever I don't do a project thing where there's like editing and writing and whatnot involved, it's usually because I'm doing something else like on top of it. It's not just, I'm sitting here and lazily not completing this video I have said I want to do. I also wrote in full the scripts for Nixon part 3 and 4, and I just didn't get around to those because I've been over the past several months working to get another job and I'm not going to relitigate the nonsense that my current employer is doing, but I'm just explaining. I recognize when there's like a big length of time between when I do something or say I'm going to do something and don't do it, and I'm trying to be corrective of that. So I am supposedly, and I say that with like kind of quotations, going to be starting a new job this week. Seeing that I have done most of the script for part 7, I was thinking I could probably put up pieces of it, just kind of, like I did one part, which was the Gulf of Tonkin, back in December, and that was again to show that this was still being worked on, that this is still something that is coming out. It's just been a subject of, again, not having a singular source I can use, which is what I would do for these other ones that I cover, and also just being swamped with other projects. But I surely intend to narrow my focus, because I don't like having to take multiple years to make something. Um, so I ask for a little bit more patience, and that's all I can hope for.